Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below in the comments section. Also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? It is free to join. Once in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff. Will be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay, so let's get into the price action here. So there was a couple of ways with looking at this, and for the most part, there are a few of them which are still valid. So we've still got this big corrective mess happening here. This whole thing here is very tricky to sort of work out on the subwave counting. You know, we can have it as a corrective structure, potentially looking for a bigger fourth wave here. Or alternatively, we could have completed here and potentially be forming a diagonal. So we're going to go over some of these options. Make sure you stay tuned so you see them all. Um, until we actually break down past this 1604 and then effectively down through this 1535, we have to allow for the fact that we could still see some movement to the upside here, and that potentially we are still within a move up here. So that's basically the cutoff point for these sort of more bullish counts. Otherwise, we could argue that we are completed here within this count and that we're looking to form a bigger corrective structure down to the downside here, and just sort of grind down. Yeah, we can argue that there's something going on like this where we actually form a channel to the downside and we just start bouncing around between this sort of as an A, a B, and a C, and then we look for this lower range. I mean, ideally, I'd want to come back down to this zone here, but technically speaking, if we have completed into this point, our previous fourth wave is actually over here. So that's sort of a move to the downside where it just grinds down here. You know, that would bring us pretty much into this zone, um, and we could actually look to reverse from there. So this is an interesting area we're in, to say the least. Basically, I'm going to go through some of the options here. So we were talking about the potential of having a diagonal here, and I'm actually just going to turn this off for a second. So basically, what we're talking about is the effectively we could look at this 1, 2, potentially looking for this third wave to the upside here. So we haven't broken down deep enough to invalidate this, and the structure does have potential to break down as an impulse, but we can also just count it as an A, B, C with an X, and then potentially this is a Y. So an A, a B, and a C to the downside. So we haven't quite reached 1 to 1 if we are looking at it like this. 1 to 1 would be down here at this 1593, which would actually invalidate the potential that this is a uh, that this diagonal is playing out from here, and potentially, like I said, we could as for as long as we hold this zone, we can still argue that we have a diagonal that could be playing out, where this was a wave 2 here, and then what we'd want to see is basically another push up for this wave 3. And this wave 3 would want to come up back into the zone. I mean, that trend line can move slightly, but a 1 to 1 would actually be up here into the 1701. If we do extend up here slightly, this 1236, 1382 would be an interesting zone. And then finally, this 1618 at 1762. So, really, we'd want to start to see this progress to the upside from this point if this is the case. We wouldn't really want to come back down and cross the 1608. And so we would want to stay above the 1604. So, what we could potentially look for here is something like this where we come back and actually retest and we look for 3, 4, and a 5. And then if we do get a structure like this, then we can argue that potentially this is our wave 3 of a diagonal, and then we'd be looking for that continuation in three-wave structures to push to the upside. This is still possible. It's not my favorite option, to be honest with you, but it is still a possibility for as long as we hold above the 1604 area. The other way we can look at it is looking at this move from here, saying that this fourth wave's here, and actually we are still within the green fifth wave. So if I turn this on for a second, so that would be saying that we're actually still within this green fifth wave here, and that we could potentially look for this extension to the upside. But it is starting to become less unlikely, and pretty much the same idea. We've come back into the support zone. We wouldn't really want to go too much lower than this 1571 if this is the case, and the structure would be uh, strange for a wave two. It would be a more complex move. So basically, what we'd be looking for at this one to one of this as an A wave would actually be back down here towards this 1589. So if we do move down again here, where we form another corrective structure and we actually come back into this 1589, it is possible we could still look for this bigger move to the upside. Though if we take that off that one-to-one zone, what we'd be actually looking for more confirmation would be looking to actually push up higher than this zone here. If we do move down to the one, this 1901. So, um, there's a big area this has got to travel. We've also got to overcome this channel that we've been currently sitting in for a long time. It is possible we could do this, but we also need to just be aware that we could also break down from here. So that there's a couple of possibilities. We are still looking for evidence of these fourth wave moves until we actually get them play out, and then we get this fifth wave. We just have a three-wave structure to the upside, so we need to just be cautious as well that we could start to look to break to the downside. And I just want to see, is there anything? No, that's pretty much it when it comes to looking at this count. The other way we were looking at it is that potentially we actually completed our third back here, and then this is just a bigger corrected mess. And we're looking at it in two ways, and we're looking at the possibility that it could be a triangle, which is still potentially viable. Where we look at this as an A, this is a B. We're looking at this as potentially a C wave. And if that is the case, effectively what we'd be arguing is either the C's become more complex, where this is a WX and we're going to get a Y wave to the downside here. And I mean, the one to one of this would be this 1589. And what we'd be looking for then is the potential that we actually push down here one more time. And like I said, maybe if we push down with that ABC, we go to this one to one. So if we push down to this 1590, it could actually be that rather than being over here, the C wave is actually down here, and that we'd still be looking for this D wave and this E wave to play out. If we do, however, from this point, look to break directly to the upside here in a bigger five-wave structure, it is possible that we could actually have completed this gray fourth wave here, and that actually we are looking for that fifth to the upside from this position. So this is just something that we can actually see play out. If we did have this play out, effectively what we'd have to do is look for the potential that our fifth wave could bring us up here into this 1764 area to this 1848 zone. So this would be a zone we could actually look to push up into. That 1382 would be 1796. So if we do start to move up here, it could be that we actually have this completed as a triangle in this zone, and that actually we look to break up and we look for this fifth wave to the upside here. So this could potentially come up and challenge this channel, which would be, depending on how long it takes, somewhere around that 1870 area, 1880. So this could be something that we actually look to do and look to push up into this area for another hit to the upside of the fifth wave. However, like we were also saying, it is possible that we still need to come down deeper for this fourth, and that this is becoming a more corrective move, and that this will invalidate. Basically, if we move past this 1518, this could invalidate, or above this in 1714. But for as long as we stay within this range, it is still possible. Like I said, the C wave could potentially move here, and then this whole move becomes the C wave like this, and then actually we look to push up again for a three-wave structure, break down for another three-wave structure, and then we have a triangle. Once the C wave forms, though, this E wave can't really cross it. That would invalidate the shape, and then we'd want to see this break up from that point. Yeah, so that's what we're looking out for really within that as a triangle. Uh, let's have a look. So the other way we're looking at this is that we're looking for potential for a corrective structure to the downside, where either this is a W, an X, and a Y. And if we do complete this as a three-wave structure to the downside, we need to be careful that it's not a completed Y wave here, and that actually we look to break up. It would be it would be neater if we did form this whole move as a as a W, then we come up an X, and then we have another push to the downside for Y. So that's something I am keeping an eye on. Like with Bitcoin, we are talking about the potential of having just a slow grind down into this zone where we look at this potentially in a channel here, and we just form this is an A, come back up for B, and then we come down for that C, and this is just a bigger, more complex WXY pattern. So that would also probably fit in neater with the sort of timings taken between the A wave. Then we could argue that we're going to get potentially this is a as a as a completed move down here, we come back up, retest this zone, and look to break down again. So that's something we're just keeping an eye out for. There is also the potential that, like we said, we're looking for the potential of the C wave to the downside. And if I move this out here, um, what they would be looking for is something like this. So let's go over this. It does look quite complicated, but it's not really. Um, so we can potentially count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4 into here and a 5. So this could be actually a completed wave 1 within the structure. So this was looking at this as a potential diagonal for a 1, 2, and then actually looking for this to potentially break down for a bigger third wave move. So the trigger point for that would be this 1525. And the thing is, within this, basically what we'd have to now look at this is either this move is starting to extend, where we have 1, 2, 1, 2, and then now we within either the third wave of the third, and we're going to start to break down, or alternatively, we're going to look to push up here and sort of target out this zone of the 1678 to the 1652. What we want to see here is basically a three-wave move to the upside, and a zone of interest would potentially be this 50% here, and then sort of higher up would be this 1666, and then the highest we'd really want to come is the 1678. So the higher this goes, the more it changes this target for this yellow wave here, which currently the typical third wave is this 1524. If we do move down like this, effectively this third wave would complete here, and then we'd get an additional fourth and fifth. So it would change those targets slightly that we talked about yesterday. I haven't adjusted them yet because it is possible, like I said, that this moves up, and potentially so does this target for this third wave. So we need to just give it some time here. But if we continue to face rejection here, we can see that actually coming into this zone would be a retest on the bottom of this 50% line of this channel. So that would be something interesting to see if we actually move up here, get rejected, and break down. If we just continue to directly sell off and we fail to get back above this point here, let me just throw this on. So if we fail to actually get above the 1656, we can argue that we could look to break down, and this whole move here, effectively, we've come up into this 50% now. So we need to just be careful. Like I said, there could be a series of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then actually we start to break down for that third. So if we do actually start to get some breaking down here, you know, confirmation of extension within these waves would come by dropping down past this point here of this 1562. If we move down past 1562, what we'd have to start doing is counting this as a 1, 2, 3. We get a fourth and a fifth. And then basically from there, we would have to incorporate these other counts here. And then that could quite easily take us down to that green third wave impulsive trigger that we got here, this 1525. So this is something that could quite easily play out if we do start to break to the downside here. So we need to just keep that in mind. If it just is a direct sell-off, effectively we might come straight down and actually just look to target this directly. Alternatively, like I said, we can potentially count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this area, and then we'd be looking for this wave 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the downside. So those are the primary expectations here. We need to just see if we can maintain these lows. If we, for as long as we do, we can keep looking for these bullish potentials where we're looking to potentially break up here. That diagonal is still valid as well, So we just need to see how these play out. But basically, if we do have a five-wave structure here, we want to maintain this zone. This would be a key zone. the 1678 to the 1652. Failing to hold that would effectively make us have to just count this as a corrective pattern, then as an A, potentially a B, and then we look for a C, or alternatively a completed correction, and then we're starting to move up from this point. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. And why not leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? It is free to join. Once in the general chat area, just mention a member staff. We'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. In the description below, you'll also find a link to affiliate links for PrimeXBT and BYBIT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. So if you don't have an account with them, using those affiliate links does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. And there are deposit bonuses. More information can be found on the website. So if you click on the links, it will take you there. Okay, everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.